Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Riley and this is Experience Fitness, where I share my experience of trying to get healthier, fitter and stronger as a middle-aged man. So today this is an FAQ video. One question that I was asked recently is how I break my fast. So as you may know, I practice intermittent fasting, which is an eating regimen. I don't like calling it a diet. It's an eating regimen where I fast every other day, so I only eat on alternate days. So I've got another video explaining exactly how I do that, and I'll link that in the description. So on the days when I do eat, what I'll typically have for breakfast, and when I say breakfast I don't necessarily mean a small meal in the morning. What I mean is how I break my fast, which the word breakfast actually means, when you break your fast. So I tend to break my fast in the late afternoon, early evening, any time between 5 and 6 p.m. And what I usually start with is some homemade fruit juice or a homemade smoothie. I prefer smoothies over fruit juice because juices actually extract all of the fibre from the fruit and just leave you with the juice, which I don't think is probably the most healthiest way to do it. Smoothies leave all of the fruit flesh in, which is where all the fibre and minerals are. So that's what I tend to prefer. It has to be homemade. I don't drink store-bought fruit juice or smoothies. They tend to just be loaded with sugar and have very little nutritional value, if any at all. So at home we eat a lot of fruit, and so there's always fruit left over for us to juice with and to make smoothies with. So that's what I do. I'll just use that fruit. I'll bring it into work with me. We have a juicer at work, so I'll just utilize that, make myself a smoothie, leave it in the fridge for the end of the day when I'm going home, and I will just drink that on my way home, and that is basically my first meal of my eating day. When I get home, I'll have either a large meal followed by 2 smaller meals, or I'll have just like 2 or 3 small meals, which typically consist of meat and vegetables. So either beef or chicken or bacon, sausages. I try not to eat sausages too often, but I do really like them. So meat and veg. Vegetables, I like to have mixed vegetables like cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, sometimes sweet corn, frozen peas, and more often than not I will top the vegetables with cheese as well, because I just love melted cheese. It's one of my indulgences. So I do eat bread as well, not too much. I might have like a slice of toast as the last thing I eat before I go to bed with a cup of tea, or sometimes I eat garlic bread with my meals. I eat cereal every now and again, but not very often. Again, because they're not the healthiest thing. But the good thing the thing that I love the most about intermittent fasting is that I don't feel deprived. Now, with any kind of diet, and I really hate that word, or eating regimen or eating protocol, the focus should be on sustainability. You should enter into it with the mindset of, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to eat for the rest of my life. Now, the more restrictive the protocol is, and the more deprived you feel on that protocol, is the lower likelihood that it's something that you'll be able to sustain over time. So with intermittent fasting, I can more or less eat what I like. I don't feel deprived. I don't feel restricted. I don't see a cake and think I can't have that. If I did, this isn't something that I would be able to sustain. So because the way I eat allows me to have those things, in moderation, not to excess. Too much of anything is bad for you. I can see myself eating this way for the rest of my life, without any reservations whatsoever, which is why I love it. So I get to eat ice cream. I get to eat cakes. I absolutely love a full English breakfast. I get to have that once in a while. So it's just the perfect thing for me. That's what I found in my experience. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos that where different fitness professionals have tried intermittent fasting for a time, and then done a video of their experience, and most, if not all, say that it was a good way of eating. It helps them to, it was in line with their fitness goals, but they don't think it's sustainable over time because it's restrictive. I've heard comments like, well, what if you're dating and you plan to have a date with your partner on one of the days or at the time that you're supposed to be fasting? What do? Do you just not eat? Or what if your friends are going out and they're going to eat socially and all of this? And my answer to that really is eat. If your date or some kind of social event falls on one of your fasting days or falls at one of your fasting times, break it. Eat. As long as you're not doing it every single day or every single time, it's fine. If it's not flexible, it's not going to work in the long term. So break it. I mean, I know I do alternate day fasting, but there are times where, like just last week, I went to a wedding, and the wedding fell on one of my fasting days. So I just had an additional feeding day. It's no big deal. This weekend I'm going on to a barbecue which falls on one of my fasting days, so I'm just going to have an additional feeding day and just fast the next day. It's not a problem. You have to make it flexible. If it's not flexible, you'll end up resenting it, and if you resent it, you won't keep it up over time. That's what I've found in my own experience, and being flexible with it has worked for me. Yesterday was my feeding day. As I said, I usually break my fast in the late afternoon, early evening, around between 5 and 6 p.m. But I was at work and the team decided to go for a little mini picnic for lunch. So I went and I ate. No big deal. All I did was I just broke my fast a few hours earlier. I still ate the same amount that I would have eaten if I broke my fast later on in the day. So it doesn't really matter too much when you eat. It's about how much you eat. So as long as you're eating the same amount, when you choose to do that is not really that big of a deal. So I broke my fast early yesterday, and I feel fine about doing that. I don't feel guilty about cheating on my eating protocol. I hate the word diet. Don't feel guilty about it at all, and I know that I'm not going to have any negative repercussions from doing that, so it's all good. So that's how I break my fast. If I'm having two smaller meals after a large meal, occasionally I'll have a small bowl of cornflakes or a couple of slices of toast with a hot drink, and or I might make myself a club sandwich, which I love. I love sandwiches. I made myself a club sandwich yesterday evening, actually. It was bacon and chicken breasts with cheese. Absolutely delicious. Yeah, so that's more or less what I eat. One other thing I will say is that at the moment I don't count calories. I just eat until I feel full and satisfied, and that is working out for me at the moment. If I later on down the line hit a fat loss plateau where I'm doing exactly what I'm doing now, but I don't seem to be losing any more fat, if I hit that kind of state, then I might have to go into, like, calorie counting mode. But at the moment, I'm not counting any calories. I'm still losing body fat. The last time I weighed myself was on Saturday, just gone. I was 85 kilograms. The Saturday before that, I was 86. So I'm still losing weight, which is mostly body fat, at a rate of about 1 kilogram each week, which works out at just over 2 pounds a week, which is a good rate, and I'm pleased with that. If that rate at any point goes down, then I may have to start counting calories, but for the moment it's all good. I just eat until I'm full and satisfied, and I don't need to count any calories. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. This has been my experience. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and also hit the notification bell so that you get a notification of new videos. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.